Well, we got most of the bench cleaned off, a little bit on the far side over there, and we're going to start working on the spars. We've been building the ribs for a while now. Where are they? There they are, ribs. And in fact, I only need 3 ribs. And so the first thing I did, of course, is scrape the table, took a single edge razor and scraped off anything that was raised up on the table, and then I went along my straight edge here and got it thoroughly cleaned out right in the corner, because we're going to use that when to line up the wing spar and keep it straight. And I set my 6-foot scale against it and slid it all along, checking every now and then. I did find one spot which I already knew about, which starts about here to about here, where I won't be able to clamp it against this, but from here on out I can. Or at least if I clamp it, I know there's going to be about a 15 thousandths, 20 thousandths gap right in here. So we see the length of the spar caps is going to be 13 feet, and we're going to have to scarf joint to get that 13 feet, because at the end here the grain starts sloping off, and that discoloration, I don't really care for that. So we're going to cut this straight across right there where that dark area starts, and right at about 85 inches or 7 foot 1 inch, the grain starts sloping away. So I marked it right there, and right there is where we're going to start the scarf joint and heading that way. And so we got 7 feet, so we'll need another 6 feet to get us to our 13. So the opposing stick, we will start. Well, it's got a little anomaly down in there. I don't see anything that shows it should, what it is, no knot or anything, but there's something down in there boogered up. So I'll start right at the edge of this, because the grain is nice and straight right there. Over here it's tapered bad, but I can't really start back here just because of that there. So, but I'll start right here, because, well, we'll need to start that point near where this breaks out of this board. Can be just beyond this. That'll cut that right off, save a few extra inches. So I clamp the board down tight to the table, pulling back against the straight edge here, and then use, well, I guess a welding clamp, this long neck welding clamp, so I can get the reach in here and clamp it close to where I'm cutting, but be out of the way of the saw at this sharp angle. Right there's my cut. It doesn't show up real good in the video, but the rest of the way it's clamped down real tight to the table. So now these two scarf joints are at least going to be virtually the same angle. I might have to clean them up and get them to sit flat with each other, depending on how well I can cut this. Now, because I'm cutting across both boards, that's a pretty long cut from here to here, almost full length of my saw. So the way I started is I just put the heel of it here, and of course I just real lightly go back and forth right here and get, I'm not really worried if the saw leads off. I'm just giving myself a little groove, and then I put my finger or thumb and guide it. And then once I got a little groove, and I put my finger out there, thumb, to guide it, I usually can line these two joints up, this one here to this one. This outer board will slide up in here to this one, and Usually I don't even have to do much sanding, if any. It's almost a perfect match. Now, if you were doing this with northern white pine or Sitka spruce, you'd probably be halfway through the board already. I've been cutting for about 3 or 4 minutes now. But if you were doing this in a soft wood like that, this here commercial white ash and this stuff has a real high specific gravity also, so it's real hard. And then I just slide a piece of geodetic in between it, make sure that these get that pretty well lined up in these here. Yeah, it looks like a gap, but it's right against one another. So once I clamp that, you can see it's almost perfect. So anyway, so I'll throw some cellophane underneath this, take it back apart, glue it up real well, clamp it real well, and down. I'll clamp it down and then in against the straight edge, as well as clamping this together, right, the joint itself together. And then I'll sweep the glue out while it's drying, or before it dries, and then I'll double check it, make sure no more glue eases into the groove there. And I also have a scraper, an 1/8 inch scraper I can use to scrape that glue clean too.